Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a video addressing the glass pad market. I do want to go over a few of my comments on what skates I like nowadays on glass and a few of the changes that we see kind of happening slowly on the glass pad market. There are two new glass pads in the video. You guys will see the Harut as well as the Pyramid pad from Pwnage. But I do just want to get out some thoughts and commentary on the glass pad market in general. So there are two glass pads that are kind of making exponential changes in the area of evolving glass pads. The only changes really this year to the glass pad market is the thickness in the Superglide V2. The pad is 1.5 mil thick, and I think it makes all the world of a difference, even if it's a little over 1.5. I think it makes all the world of a difference because the lip of the pad as you are playing, you don't feel it nearly as much as the other glass pads that are 3.5 to 4 mil thick. It does make quite a bit of a comfort difference. It almost makes it feel as though your arm is just level to your desk. And again, not feeling that elevation. It actually is quite nice in game. So they've done a really nice job in implementing that. And I'm sure we'll see a lot of companies try to copy that in the near future. It seems like a lot of these glass pad companies are utilizing the same factories. We see a lot of the same stuff in terms of surface feel, surface speed. And something that you guys should know is that glass pads do typically have a chemical treatment that's applied at the end of the process so that the glass does have some level of anti-stick. I don't know what chemicals are in this concoction or this mixture coming from these factories, but anybody who is kind of wondering how it gets that anti-stick effect, there is some solution that's being used to address that. So some pads have more chemical treatment than others. Some pads have a different solution or kind of this formula that's being used. And some pads handle anti-stick better on your skin or with moisture, etc. So the Superglide V2 that came out this year, I actually really enjoy this pad. It's one of the only pads that has like a varied texture feel to the pad. The pad has a little bit of a graininess to it. So it's not this like ultra buttery feel as you're kind of brushing your hand across the pad. And with Jade Air skates, which I am rocking now for glass pads, it just provides an experience that actually feels really nice, airy, and open, but maybe a little bit more controlled, just in its innate speed, a little bit more controlled than other versions of glass. Now, the next set of glass pads I'm going to show you guys, I do want to bring up the Kazemi. Let me go grab the Kazemi. So the Glassworks Kazemi is absolutely beautiful. Glassworks is a company that is making strides, again, steps in bettering the glass pad market, making a better glass product. And how are they doing that? In the Kazemi, in comparison to the Akari, we saw that the Kazemi decal, the design shining through the glass more. It has more clarity, more detail, and the elements of the design are easier to define as you're looking at the pad. So they've kind of come up with this process to make the design element underneath the glass come through with more detail. I think that's a step in the right direction. I think that's a leap because you're paying a lot of money. The glass pad is hopefully, presumably permanent. And if you're going to have it on your desk forever, you'd want to be able to see those design elements with a level of clarity for the money that you're paying. So I think Kazemi and Superglide, or Pulsar in the Superglide, have made some steps in the right direction to making glass pads ever so slightly better, right? These aren't necessarily these monumental leaps, but they're steps in the right direction. So that brings me to the Harut pad. Now, the Harut pad, although it doesn't have those steps in that direction, right? It doesn't have the 1.5 mil thick. It doesn't have this level of clarity that the Kazemi has. But despite that, again, those aren't monumental leaps that necessarily detract from the greatness of the Harut. If you like this design, it's got beautiful elements of purple, blue, yellows, oranges, pinks, reds. It's got a nice pop of color that I can see working in a wide array of setups. And that, I think, is really like the main thing you should be going into a glass pad purchase with. Like, you have to like the design. Really, like, glass pads on the market right now are so similar to one another in terms of performance and speed. Really, your focus should be on liking the design, making sure you're happy with the design element that's sitting on your desk. I think this pad has a really nice pop of color. And again, I think it does look great. Not that level of clarity we see with the Kazemi, but it looks very good. With the pad, I can say that it falls into this category of glass pad awesomeness, right? There's so many glass pads that perform similarly. But what does it offer like other glass pads? The speed of the pad with the Jades from X-Ray Pad, the speed of the pad is nice, airy, and open. And your speed experience can change based on the skates that you choose, whether they're full-size skates. It can change based on the weight of your mouse, your grip style, how much of your arm is on the pad. There's so many variables that can change the speed, so take this with a grain of salt and all the videos with a grain of salt that you're watching. But with my grip style and the Jades in a 4-dot orientation, 2 on top, 2 on bottom, you can hear the audible level of the pad is low, and the speed of the pad is nice, airy, and open. Like dynamic, I can flick as fast as I want to. I'm in complete control on the Harut. And with static friction, like I can stop the mouse on a dime, and I don't feel the pad adding this element of speed that makes my mouse float away from me. So when I want to stop on the Harut, I'm getting that stopping power, and the speed on flicks is like very one-to-one with my manual control. And that's what I look for in a glass pad. The problem is like so many glass pads offer that, like swapping from, if you already own a glass pad that you really, really enjoy, swapping to another glass pad isn't going to like give you this mind-boggling revelation of an experience. It's really going to provide like maybe a different level of sensitivity, maybe a different surface feel if you're going from like the Superglide 2 to the Harut. But the surface feel is very, very smooth, buttery smooth, feels fantastic. And the pad does have, again, if you like the design element, what I can say is the performance on the speed with your mouse and the control that I'm getting is fantastic. And the stickiness, the anti-stick on this pad, I think is one of the best out of the grouping of glass pads that you'll see in this video. So it is a 1 of 300. It's a new company, nice guys, and they are going on sale tomorrow. So the pad is going to sell out. The question is, you know, how fast? But if you like the design, definitely keep your eyes peeled tomorrow. It is, again, falling into the category of epic, awesome glass pads that perform with that nice open airiness that leaves me with a lot of manual control and, again, great anti-stick capabilities and a buttery smooth surface. Now, last but not least, I've got the Pwnage pad. This is a new glass pad, black and white design. You see the pyramid there, the Pwnage logo on top. And the one thing that you will notice with the Pwnage pad is the edges actually are a lot more rounded than the other pads in this video. Quite extensively so, just more aggressive in the circular rounding of the edges. The pad, if you were to blindfold me and ask me if I was on a SP004, the Pwnage Pyramid pad, or the Harut, like I probably wouldn't be able to tell you. I'd probably get it wrong like 35% of the time, or more than that. The Pwnage pad, if you like this design, what I can say is, again, it falls into that level of epicness for glass pads. I feel like it's a little bit faster with the skates and with this mouse, the S2 DW, a little bit faster than the Harut pad. I feel, though, not much faster. Again, manual control, I get that fast, speedy flick, and then when I do want to take it down and have some slow movements or to get a complete and full stop, again, maybe slightly faster than the Harut, but a great speed nonetheless. The pad is ultra smooth. Again, blindfold me. I'm not going to be able to tell you which one's which in terms of the surface feel. But overall, again, a great performing glass pad and one that will presumably last you forever. Now, getting to the anti-stick capabilities of the Pwnage, I think the anti-stick is perfectly fine. I do feel that the Harut offers a little bit more of a glide when your room is getting hot or it's humid, a little bit more of a glide on your skin without getting stuck quite as easy. Now, when I get like a little sticky, if my room's getting super hot, I got the overhead lights on, etc., what I do is I actually use that to my advantage, and I'll dig more of my skin into the pad to like apply some additional control. So like you don't need a sleeve if you're able to do that on a glass pad. You can use that to your advantage. So keep that in mind as well. But I don't think like any of the pads in this video, I would need a sleeve to perform at my top level. So again, 2 new great glass pads hitting the market. The Harut, I kind of fall into that level of glass speediness. But again, great manual control on the pad because it's nice, airy, open, and I can stop on a dime when I need to. One of 300 comes out tomorrow, and if you guys like that pyramid design instead, check out the Pwnage website. That is it for this one. Just more glass pads adding onto the market. Go for a design that strikes you, that you want on your desk, that you're going to be really happy with and not get bored of. That's it for this one, guys. I hope it helped. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.